today's Tuesday Crafternoon, I'd like to share with you the February hand-stitched card kit. And that is going to be a lovely Shamrock card to get ready for St. Patrick's Day. Now, you might be able to see that there's some variation in the greens in here because I used a variegated floss that was just all different tones of green. But what I'm going to show you is using just one straight up dark green to do the whole thing. It's a fairly straightforward pattern. Your 4-leaf clovers are all the reach stitch, and the stems, I can show you how to do them 2 different ways. I like to do them as a reach stitch because it gives a nice curve, but if you don't think you're quite up for that, you can just do a running stitch, dashed line down and then back up to fill in. So what you're going to need for this, and as always, this will be included in the kit that will be available at the reference desk in probably mid-February, is a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock that's cut in half this way. You'll get the pattern. You will want a beading awl and probably a piece of cardboard to slide underneath the card so that when you poke the holes for the pattern, you don't damage your tabletop. You'll need your embroidery floss, needle, scissors, and tape because, as always, we do not use knots in the floss. We just tape down the ends. Now I've got my card prepared, ready to stitch. So now that I have everything out, let's get started. And get it taped. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, since I'm starting here, I count 4 holes up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and go down. And then I will come up the next hole and work my way back 4, which takes me to the hole just after where I started. And then again, I'm coming up 1 hole after that. And moving forward 4. Going forward 1. And then back 4. And so I'm just going to do that back and forth all the way around the curve here. Now with these straight sides, it gets a little tough to see where the holes are once you put some stitches in. It's totally okay to look at them from the back and figure it out from there. But once you hit the curve, you'll see it's easier to see how many holes to count back. And once you've filled in the last hole for that leaflet, you can move right on to the next one. And continue to work your way around. So I'm going to go ahead and do that until I get over to here, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to do the stem. All right, the last step is to do the stem, and as I said earlier, there are two ways you can do this. First, if you want to keep it simple, you can do a running stitch out and back, and that is simply following this dotted line. And you come up one hole, go down the next, come up the next, go down the next, so that you're creating a dashed line all the way down, and then repeat that coming back to fill in the blanks. That's the easy way to do it. What I'm going to show you is a reach, because I like it for giving a little bit of thickness to the stem. And it also follows the curve really nicely. It is a little more tricky because, as I said when we started off with the first leaflet, when you're doing a straight-ish line of holes as a reach, as you do your stitches, you can kind of cover up the holes, and it makes it a little tricky for you to find them. But I think the effects are worth it. So like I said, you can do the one or you can do this. And I'm going to show you the reach. So for the stem, we are reaching forward 3 holes from our starting point here at the top of the stem. So I'm coming down 3, going through to the back, and then I come up the very next hole. And if you need to just kind of tug the stitch aside a little bit to see your holes, count back 3 and go down. And then we're going to come up the next hole, count 3 and go down. And you just repeat that all the way down to the end of the stem. It does require a little more care, but I think it's worth it. And sometimes with the way the line curves, it's a little tricky to always get to the outside to be able to bring your stitch up. That's okay. If you end up finding hole 3 down here, or it's somewhere in the middle of all these stitches, that's fine. It's all going to come together and just look like a nice curved stem for your shamrock, for your 4-leaf clover. And that's all there is to it. You've got 1 stitch for the leaflets, 1 stitch, which is pretty much the same stitch, just different numbers, for the stems. And you get this lovely little card that you can share with people to share a little bit of luck this St. Patrick's Day. So, as I said, the kits will be available here at the reference desk probably mid-February. I don't remember which Monday it is, but you can check the library's calendar of events or our newsletter to find out which date it is. They are first come, first serve, so there's no registration for them. And if by chance you don't make it in time to get a kit, I will also have a notebook of instructions and patterns at the reference desk so that we can get you a copy of those and you can try it at home with your own floss stash. So I hope you'll get a chance to give this a try. And in the meantime, I hope you will stay healthy, be kind, and as always, get creative. Bye-bye.